Let me put on this music. Oh, I was gonna... we were talking about that there is an official live stream of Final Fantasy XI, and I don't know where the camera is pointed right now. It looks like a big... like a boat with kind of weird sails on the back, and it looks a little bit like Lenosha, but obviously it's not Lenosha because it's the wrong game.
It's probably... they're probably on the airship.
It doesn't... well, no, it looks like it's a boat, like an actual boat on the water.
Oh. I don't know.
It's like docked.
Oh wait, no, there might have been a boat. Yeah, it's a ferry either way.
Yeah, I think it must be a ferry.
It is a thing that goes between zones.
Okay.
You're a fairy.
Your face is a fairy.
That's true.
Oh, did you guys notice that the forest is on sale?
Oh no, I didn't see that.
You guys notice that the forest is on fire? Alright, Tech, get ready to load. We're gonna load.
No
How
loads
many
remaining.
loads?
No loads! In case you guys are wondering, I know Real's gonna take like forever to load, but you can
I'm at
be
0%.
yeah, you can be any character. So like where you are and what playmat you have doesn't matter. You can change the playmat by pressing buttons over it. So whichever character you pick, you can have like a matching mat. So
You can change your face.
I'm still at 0%.
Yeah, you have a very satanic ping to me right now. It was like 666 for quite a while there.
Well,
You're
it
loading
was
up.
999 to me.
You're loading up, really. It is happening.
But how many loads are remaining?
Ril has about 30 loads
666.
remaining. 30 loads
I have
remaining!
I have one load
How
remaining.
did it jump to 76% so fast from 0?
What, for
I don't
Ril?
know.
I've seen her climbing up
Yeah.
slowly.
It was 0 for a long time, and then the next time I looked, it was 76%.
Nah, I saw it going up. I mean, it was 0
Magic.
for a long time. You are correct, but then I saw it, like, steadily climbing up.
So, as I was saying, I almost thought I was going to be late today,
Yeah.
but that was only one of many misadventures within a couple hours. That
Misadventures. The misadventures of Lost Joke.
Well, sitting here killing time, and I thought I'd try and get a little bit of Monster Hunter going just to stay loose. And I get a message from my mom asking me, "Oh, are you home?" So I say yes. She tells me that I need that Vaseline here. I'm like, okay, but it's probably going to take me a while because they're doing construction on the road. She's like, well, damn it, never mind. I was like, you sure? It sounds like you need it. She said, fine, just go along the long way around. So it pretty much took a couple minute drive into like a 10-minute drive.
Really, you're gonna have to load something else real quick. Sorry.
Fuck you.
I'm gonna have to take out
Okay.
this. There we go.
I get there, drop off the Vaseline because she needed for her 1-year-old niece.
All right.
So I say hi, and then she says, "Oh, you should probably like not try not to touch a lot of things on your way home." I'm like, "Why?" Because like, "Oh, she's sick." I was like, "And you told me this after I, patted her head and touched her." So I go home and take a shower after I wash my hands like 3 times.
Oh my god.
I wash my
You
hands.
got the sickness.
I hope I
You have got the sickness.
Yeah, you probably do. It's like con sickness. It's like you go to a con or a show and everybody, you feel fine. It's great the whole time. And then you get home and you're like, oh man, I actually managed to like, avoid the sickness. And then like 3 days later, you're just like in bed feeling like shit.
Would end up having me be on the toilet a lot, so I don't want that either.
Let's start.
Plot twist. One choke was the source of the sickness.
Here are the 4 characters. We'll obviously be using one each, but let me describe the characters. Because they all have backstories. So first on the right,
I want to
we
be the
have
vampire.
we have Norowas, greatest of the elf lords. Like all great elven soldiers, Norowas spent centuries mastering the combat arts of both spell and sword. Prior to the breaking, which we will get to, Norowas had bartered his influence with the elvish free armies to consolidate a position on the High Elven Council, an organization dedicated to bringing their own brand of order to the realm by any means necessary. Norowas embraces these philosophies wholeheartedly and is not above utilizing destructive tactics to achieve his goals. His recent contact with the Council of the Void has steeled his determination, and now is the time, and the Council of the Void has the means for him to venture forth and bring an end to the chaos he sees throughout the land without mercy or hesitation. Maybe I should have actually started with the actual backstory.
Probably.
Okay, let's start with the actual backstory. So, I might actually just summarize this, because I read this earlier. So basically, 32 years ago, there were some heroes who were going to a place called Dragon's Gate, an old city. And they were looking for loot, as heroes do. And they ran into an actual gate, and they opened it, and it killed them. And then it also killed, like, millions of other people, because the whole society is based around magic, and all of the magic things, like, exploded, and it, like, killed anyone that was, like, next to them. Yeah, as it does.
Okay.
And so a lot of, like, the civilizations, the various countries and stuff were thrown into chaos, and some of them fell, and others managed to just barely survive. So that was 32 years ago, and it was called The Breaking. Since then, there is, let's see, the once formidable Atlantean Empire struggles to reunite its kingdom, because this is relevant to us, struggles to reunite its kingdom in the face of an all-out assault from the Orc Khans. It used to be the Orcs were just, would just raid kind of the borders, but now they're trying to kind of more take over the whole place. And then, there is also, let's see, the Draconum, who are dragon people. And they apparently there's new they call the Draconum Chrysalis. They're like little egg dragons who are about to hatch and who might be something completely different. And they all just kind of generally want to kill everybody.
Little egg dragons.
And then let's see. And then there's the Mage Knights. The peasants call them Mage Knights, as they proved equally adept at spell and blade. No one knows who sent them or why. Some celebrate them as heroes and liberators and are eager to join their armies, as they believe they can bring about true stability with their might. Most fear them and close the gates of their cities, as the Mage Knights are strange and choose to remain silent on their motives. In just a few days, a handful of Mage Knights have swept through the countryside in what would have taken entire armies months to conquer. The only hint as to their motivations is that they are clearly heading toward the capital, and tonight they will reach its walls. No clue as to their motivations until you read the next paragraph. You are a Mage Knight, sent to invade the Atlantean Empire at the behest of the Council of the Void. In a past you have long forgotten, you've traded your independence for powers that rival those of the gods. In exchange, the Council asks only loyalty, and now you are being called on to carry out your mission without questioning their intentions. Your reward for your continued obedience is fame, power, knowledge, and treasure. Anything you encounter while on your mission is yours to keep, and you are free to work with or against your fellow Mage Knights as you carry out the Council's commands. So we are all Mage Knights. This is the base game, by the way. This is like no expansions or additions or anything like that. There are expansions with other Mage Knights as well. So I've already read Norowas. He's the elf. He's the guy on the right. I'm going from right to left here. Tovak Wormstalker, head order of the Ninth Circle. The strongest presence left within the order of the Ninth Circle, Tovak Wormstalker is less a leader of this new faction and more a force of nature to be respected and followed. Originally, the Order of the Ninth Circle sold their swords in service to other factions, but under the strong hand of Tovak Wormstalker, they have become a force unto themselves. The more established factions in the land are certainly beginning to take notice of the Order's actions. The mage spawn that comprise the Order of the Ninth Circle are held together loosely by their common disdain for the self-proclaimed superiority that the other factions profess, and Tovak Wormstalker seeks nothing less than the total defeat of the other factions and their lofty aspirations of supremacy. After the sudden demise of the two previous heads of the Order, Tovak Wormstalker has embraced his new role as shepherd to the Order's cause, and will not rest until all mage spawn are free to determine their own paths. That the Council of the Void's current plans are to conquer lands that oppress his people is all the better. That was Tovak. That was this guy, whose last joke is spinning like he's on a nice showcase. The next guy, Goldix, mightiest of the Draconum. From the day they are hatched until what? What?
It's pronounced Gold Dicks.
There is only one D. It's Goldix.
Gold Dicks.
It's only one D. You don't pronounce two Ds in a one D.
It's either
name.
Goldix or Goldix.
Yes, either way, it's either Goldix. It could be Gold Dykes, but that makes it sound even worse. So, from the day they are hatched until the day they are killed, Draconum seek only two things, combat and evolution. As they wander the land, Draconum look for worthy opponents strong enough to challenge their brutally honed martial abilities with only one goal in mind, personal augmentation. Draconum have never been closely tied to any one faction, and since the breaking, they are even more likely to distrust others, even their own kind. After undergoing the Surge, the most powerful of Draconum evolutions, Goldix has arisen as the mightiest of his kind. He seeks personal wealth and power, and the Council of the Void has promised both beyond anything he had previously dreamed of. That his own brethren may get in his way, and his current assignment only makes him more interested in the riches that lie ahead and the foes that are worthy of his attentions. That is Goldix.
So in other words, Gold Dicks went Super Saiyan.
Basically. And finally, Erithia, the Blood Cultist. While the origins of the breaking are shrouded in mystery, it is spoken in hushed whispers and knowing glances that it may have been the Blood Cultists who were responsible for the cataclysm and resulting chaos that ensued. Evidence exists that the cultists were finally successful in their ancient quest to awaken the dark god Amara, who repaid his followers by unleashing his might upon the land. Believed to be the strongest of the known mage knights, she's op and needs to be nerfed. Erithia has emerged from the chaos more powerful than ever, and she has gone forth spreading Amara's bloody gospel as she crushes her foes under her spiked heel, because she also likes to be fabulous. Under her leadership, the Blood Cultists have slipped the bonds of their former masters in the Dark Crusade, and have become the wrong lore, and have become a power unto themselves. Feared by many and respected by all, no one knows where Erithia will strike next. But one thing is certain, the bloody god Amara has directed her to participate in the Council of Void's plans, will be pleased with her conquest and proliferation of his teachings. So basically, they're not necessarily evil, but they're not necessarily good either. They're kind of... I mean, they are here to take over the place, but they could do that peacefully or not. So who does everybody want to be?
I want to be the vampire.
You want to be Erithia?
Yes.
Okay, well, take her thing and take her bag. Take the whole bag. I'll tell you what to grab from the bag in a second, because we don't use all of the things yet.
Ah, fuck. Go back in the bag. I want to pick up the bag.
I'm gonna be Goldix because I already played as the other guy, Tovak, like 3 times in preparing for this. So Craig,
Tuvok.
Craig, you can be Tovak. So you can change.
Tuvok.
You can change the your little mat to match what you want by pressing numbers on it. Okay, so we have your figure, which will go on the board eventually. First thing, you have your cards, which is your deed deck. There's an obvious place for that. Shove it on there and give it a shuffle. Next, you have your skills, which will go on the top of the little rectangles on your thing. You can also give those a shuffle.
The top of the little rectangle.
Yeah, right there.
So I just shuffle it.
Yeah, go ahead and shuffle it. Then you have your skill descriptions. You want to keep this someplace handy because these, the actual skill cards are just like these pictures that you can see. But if you need to know what they actually do when you're picking them, you can read this. It's double-sided, by the way. It's flip it over, and there's another side. The tokens you can put, there is a very kind of hard to see shield icon on the mat. Put those here. You'll be using these to place on the board when it happens that we do that. So there is a little snap part next to the shield tokens. Put basically all of these hexagonal things just in a pile, in order. Make sure they are in order. They should already be all in order. And then the last one is a blank one. Put it up above the unit area, the cards.
Did I only grab one
Yes.
token?
Yeah, go and grab all of them and put them in a pile.
I thought I grabbed all of them. Do I just...
No, they don't stack. They stack physically. They don't
Oh.
stack into an actual stack. And then put that one in right here.
What's this thing?
This is a round marker. This will go up here. For now, you can just shove it up here somewhere. Where turn order is up here, real. And everybody on the actual board. This this will change when we change our turn orders.
There's another shield.
I'm taking your round marker.
What is this shield for?
Okay, so this one is the rep marker. The next shield is tiny, and it is rep marker. This goes all the way up here in the corner of the board, of the main board.
Up here. On 0?
Yes, and everybody starts at 0.
Why are there 3 zeros?
Because this is just the way it goes.
Okay.
Yeah, there's not really enough room for
another
everybody,
one.
but
Here's the fame one.
Yes, and the fame one goes on the same board, but over here on the left, on the 0 up there. This is basically, I'll explain what this this is more like XP, whereas the rep is actual rep. Lost joke, don't cheat. Come on.
How about quest markers?
I'm not
We don't need
cheating.
that. Anything else that's in here?
Oh.
Anything else that's in here? We do not need. Go ahead and
Okay.
just put the bag somewhere else. That's for like the main kind of game, because we're basically what we're going to be doing is playing the intro quest, and the intro quest doesn't use everything. God, why is this so loud? Jesus Christ. Hold on a minute. Turn this. Alright. So we're going to be playing the intro scenario called First Recon. The goal is to explore the map. The actual like end goal, how we finish the scenario, is to find the city. So we start here in the middle of this map. Also you can right click your little figure and color it to your color. I'm gonna do that so we can easily see it. Let's joke. I'll color yours.
I really don't like this red versus the blue background. It's so painful.
I know, it's a little bit bad. Well, you can change it to a different color. You can make it like darker red if you want. I don't care. As long as it's red and we can actually see it. So where we actually start is where Craig is right here, in this little portal area.
We all can't fit there.
We will. Well, the thing is, you can't stay on the portal area. So whenever it's your turn, you do have to move. And if you don't move, then you take your figure off the board until it's your turn again. We do start out with 2 of these visible. So we have that one. And we have this one. Do not shuffle these, by the way, because these need to be in a specific order for this particular scenario. Speaking of shuffling, shuffle this. I'm going to shuffle all of these. Up here by the map, these are all the enemies that we fight.
I don't like that some of these, like when you shuffle them, you can't see that it's being shuffled. Like the skills.
Yeah. There we go. Let's go face up. And I do still need to prepare for this first scenario, so we're actually going to grab one of these. Wait. I'm actually going to shuffle
Can
this.
I have the ability to copy this, or can you copy this for me, the skill description?
This one, and this one, and then all of these are going to go in here. And we're going to shuffle these.
I want a copy of mine too.
Why do you want to copy? so you can have 2 of them.
So we can have both sides.
Fine.
Yeah, that was why I wanted a copy.
You want to copy Lost Joke?
No, but
Okay.
yes.
Well, you've already checked. You've already chosen no. So the goal is to explore the map and find the city. There is only one city on the map. When you find it, that is the end of the scenario. You don't even have to get to it. You just have to reveal the map that has it on the little map. So everybody, take 5 cards from your deep deck. So just press 5 over it. Take them into your hand, and I'll start explaining to you what these
Oh,
cards
wait, that
do
was
and what you
skills.
use them for.
Fuck.
It's fine.
That was the wrong one.
Just shuffle those again.
Yeah. Which one's deeds again? Is it the
It's,
Mage
you
Knight
only
card?
have the one deck, so
Alright.
okay. So I'm
Alright.
gonna show you. I think it doesn't matter in this one if other people see this or not. So I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna go ahead and show you guys what I have. You might have some very similar things. Yep. So you need to spend these cards in order to move, or in order to do anything else. You choose which one you want to do, except if you want to do the bottom one, you have to spend magic. I'll explain magic in a second. So if I wanted to move, then every square, or every hex, I should say, has a move cost associated with it, and that is listed up here. There's actually 2 places it's listed. Right here or right here. It changes from day and night. That's why there's one on here too. So for planes, it costs 2 move. So for instance, it costs 2 move to go from here to here. If you have 2 move, you can do that. If you have 4 move, you can, you can move twice, etc. Or if I wanted to go onto a hill, it costs 3 move. So if I wanted to move from here up onto here, I would need 2 to move right here, and then 3 to move right here, etc. If I wanted to move in the forest, it would cost 3 move to move in the forest, unless it's night, and it's 5. But we'll get to that.
I need AFK a second. My mom is yelling at me.
Oh no. Well, I'll have to wait until she's back in order to explain stuff, because there's a lot of explaining to do. Well,
You've got some explaining to do.
I'll just shove this stuff out for now. Might as well get ready.
Okay, sorry.
Okay,
Apparently starting stream is time to yell at me repeatedly.
so say I want to and the way a turn goes is you move and then you do the action. You cannot do an action and then move. You have to move first, or you can not move if you choose not to move, but you have to move first and then do whatever you want to do. So if I wanted to move, again, you start on here on the portal. If I wanted to move up here, or even to the village, that's 2, 4, 6 move. So I could play this card, which is 2 move, this card, which is also 2 move, and this card, which is also 2 move. And then that's these cards done. I cannot use the secondary thing on them. That's it. I've decided to use the top thing, and that's how I use them. When my turn is over, these would all get discarded. If you need more moves, say I wanted to go to say I wanted to go like further, I don't know where. Say I want to go over here. Let's just use that as an example. Say I wanted to, but I only have 6 move total. You can use any card in your deck that is in your hand, turn it sideways, and declare that it counts as one of whatever you're doing. In this case, I can say I want these to be 1 move, so that's another move, and that's another move. But that is also these cards gone and done. Does that make sense?
I guess so.
So with this scenario, I would have like 8 move, because it would be 2, 4, 6, and then 1 of each. 8. You can also do the same thing. Yeah?
Will non-move cards always be counted as 1 if you want to use them as a move card?
Yes. You can also use them as 1 block, 1 attack, 1 influence. Basically, you can use any other card as one of whatever you're doing at the time. But again, it uses up the card, so you can't like use this as a move and then later, you know, and then take it back and then also use it as an attack or whatever. It's like, this is it. This is a move now, and that's the end of it. So magic. At the bottom of every card is the extra ability which you need to use magic for. The color that you see is what color magic you need. So for instance, on these swiftness cards, I need white to activate ranged attack 3. For this stamina card, I need blue. For this heal card, I need green. It's pretty obvious what color it needs. To get magic, there are a number of ways. Magic is these crystals, generally. But basically, at the start of every round, these dice are rolled. And this becomes kind of a communal magic pot. Once per turn, unless a card says otherwise, and there are cards that will let you do it twice per turn. You can take a die from here and use it as magic. So this is white. I'm using this. I can do ranged attack 3, although this is my move phase, so I can't really do that. I can do, here we go, here. Here's blue. No, it's not blue. Where's blue? There we go. If this is blue, I could take this and put it here, and now I have 4 move instead of 2 move. And then when I'm done, when my turn is done, you take this, you re-roll it, and you put it back. So that is a way you can use magic. Another way you can use magic is if a card tells you that you can get... Let me look through my cards real quick, just so I can... Here, like this one, or this one. This one is especially good. This will focus. So when I play this, I don't need anything to... I don't need to do anything other than play this to gain a blue, white, or red mana token. Or green crystal in your inventory. Now, there is a difference between a token and a crystal in your inventory. A token is something that you take from here and you put in your play area, which is like this area here where my cards are. And I can use it for this turn and this turn only. And when my turn is over, if I haven't used it, then it goes away. So you need to use it or lose it. If it goes into your inventory, however, your inventory is this box here. If you put a crystal into your inventory, you keep it until you use it. Like, it's yours. It's yours to use whenever you like. I mean, when you use it, it's gone, but you know, you don't have to use it this turn. So that is the difference between a mana token and a crystal that goes into your inventory. Usually, it's very clear on whether it's a token or it goes into your inventory. Basically, if it doesn't say it goes into your inventory, then it doesn't go into your inventory. Which means you need to use it immediately. Or lose it. So, let's see. So once I've moved... Just take this. And this. So once I've moved, let's say I want to go into the village. In the village, and this stuff is explained up here, by the way, on these cards over here. In the village, I can do one of 3 things. I can recruit units. I can, units specifically with the village icon on them, I should say. I can heal. I can buy a point of healing for 3 influence. Or I can plunder the village, which is rep -1, which is not that great. Units, and then we'll go ahead and draw some units. It's 1 per player plus 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then plus 2. So over here, if you want to look at these unit cards, the ones I could buy at a village are these ones, the ones with the little house icon on them. Foresters, peasants, the Udam crossbowmen, I think I can do because they have the little village symbol on them. The cost is in the upper left, and it's in influence. So these guys cost 4 influence. These guys cost 5 influence, and you pay that when you're on the village as your action. And again, influence is the same as all of your all your cards. So let's find myself an influence card. Here we go. Influence. Influence 2, or I can pay a white mana to get Influence 4. And again, you can take any other card and put them on their side and say that this is one influence. So I could have Influence 5, or Influence 6, etc., etc. And that's how you buy units. Units, when you buy them, go here. And you will notice I have one of these icons and only one, which means I can only have one unit right now. As you level up, these get taken off, flipped over, and now I can have 2 units. Units are just like cards. You can play them. Most times there are a few rare opportunities when you cannot use units, but basically you use them, and when you use them, shove this on here, and now you cannot use this unit until the round is over. Not the turn, but the entire round. Like this unit is done, like, for a long time. Units can also take damage for you when you do combat, but if they do, you put a wound on them, and you cannot use that unit until you're healed, which is the main purpose, one of the main purposes of healing, so that you can heal your units and use your unit again. Of course, you yourself also need some healing at some points, but we'll get to that. So that's what you can do at a village. Which, again, all of these cards up here list all the things. Don't worry about everything right now. Don't bother reading everything. We will get to them. They will all be gotten to during the course of this game. That's like the whole purpose of the way this particular scenario is set up, is that they introduce stuff to you as you go. But the other thing I'll let you know about is fighting. So there's this orc right here. This is rampaging orc. Oh, this is a bad one too. It's fortified. So to fight, you have to be in an adjacent space for the orcs. Other times, you have to be in the space, but we'll get to that. But for this one, you have to be in an adjacent space. You should know that you do not have to fight an orc. If I'm like right here and I choose not to fight him, I don't have to fight him just because I'm here. But if I want to move from here to here, that triggers a fight. That'll aggro him. So, like, on the other hand, if I went from here to here, it will not aggro him. So basically, if you're kind of going around them, like, you have to fight, like, period. In order to fight, there is a sequence. So this is obviously after I've moved. So this is after my move phase. Now it's the fight phase. I decide to fight diggers. This is where ranged attacks come in. So the first sequence is ranged attacks, or siege. Ranged attacks and siege are different from each other. Ranged attacks can be used only if the enemy is not fortified. In this case, the enemy is fortified. You can tell because it has a little rook icon next to their shield. That means they're fortified. That means ranged attacks do not work. Siege attacks, however... Do I even have any siege attacks? I don't think I do. There is a thing called a siege attack that is used during this first phase. And siege attacks do work against fortified things. But ranged attacks would not. If it's not fortified, you can use both ranged and siege as like one attack. So in this case, none of these ranged attacks would work against this fortified guy. And if you don't kill him during the ranged phase, then he will hit you. So let's say I can't kill him, just as it says. So now he's going to do. So if you look at the icon, I would have needed to get 3 siege damage, at least 3 siege damage, in order to kill him on that first round. Again, if it doesn't have the little rook icon, it's not fortified like this one. Doesn't have the little rook icon, he's not fortified, so I could have just done 3 range damage to him and immediately killed him without any consequences, and that would have been it.
Except
this guy
he takes 4 damage.
Yes. This guy... oh, and by the way, damage isn't accumulative. You kill them in one go or you don't. Like, that's it. I can't like do 2 siege damage and then later on do 2 more damage to kill him. You have to. Yeah, I would have to do 4 siege, at least four siege or range damage period in order to kill him during that first phase. This guy, he's gonna hit me for 3. So I'm gonna need to block for 3, or at least 3. In this case, here's my attack or block things. Now for the range and siege, you cannot use the sideways card trick. It's either you have it or you don't. For the block and regular attack, though, you can. So he's doing 3 damage, so I need to block 3 damage, so I can use one of these. Or I could just use both of these, but say I didn't have this one and I wanted to use like something else, I could use one of these and get my 3 block. And then that's me blocked. But of course that's these cards done, which means I can't attack him with those. So I bring in this one, and now regular attack doesn't care about siege or anything like that. This is just regular attack, so I just need 3 regular attack in order to kill him. So here's 1, or here's 1, 2. Here's 3, 4. He's dead. And what you get for killing this guy is listed on the bottom of his thing. So he has 2, which means I would get 2 fame up here on the fame track. Basically, you just count 1, 2. And then because he is a rampaging orc, I would also get 1 rep by killing him. So I move my rep up 1. I still have 0 rep, but that's just the way it is. That's all I'll explain for now. We'll explain more as we go. Let me put my cards back, shuffle them up. Because I don't want to like overwhelm people. I think I've maybe have already overwhelmed a little bit. Right now, just worry about movement and possibly getting to a village.
How do we determine who go first?
And this is the last thing that we'll do, is determine that. So up here we have these tactics cards. For this first one, we do have to kind of determine who's going to go first. Maybe I should just spawn in a quick die. I'll just roll. I got 4. Apparently got 1.
I wanted to roll that better, but I fucked up.
Roll got 1. Lost Joke got 2. Let's both reroll, Craig. 1. 6. Okay, I think it's going to be Craig, me, Lost Joke, Rill. Just for picking this thing. The numbers here are what actually determines where we go. So Craig gets to pick first. Read what it says. Usually you can use these like once in a round, or if it says like this one is at the end of each turn, or etc, etc. And the number on it is when you go. So early bird doesn't have any extra effects, but you go first.
A round is a day, right?
Yes, a round is day and night, or day is a round, and then night is a round, and then day is a round, and then night is a round.
Mm.
Because there is actually a separate tactics cards for the night. If you have questions about what these things do, please ask.
How many cards can you have in your hand?
5. It actually depends on what level you are. So if you look at your hexagon things, if you start peeling them off one by one, you'll see when you're levels 5 and 6, you have 3 armor, and you can hold 6 cards. And so that goes up as you level up. For our purposes, it's unlikely that we'll get to a level where we can hold 6 cards, so just assume that it's 5. What are you gonna pick, Greg?
I'll take planning.
Okay. That's the one I was gonna pick, but okay. Let's see. I'm just gonna do early bird. And this goes into your little the little card on the left. Really, you can go anywhere you want, but this is where I'm gonna put it. Lost Joke, pick your card. You're next. Again, remember that the number is the order in which you go. So also, you know, factor that into your thinking. All right, Lost Joke picks 3. Rill. I believe the order that we pick it in next time is we go from the bottom up. So whoever goes last in the turn order will actually pick first when the round turns over.
So do you draw new cards each round, or do you...
Each round, we draw new cards. Each turn, you draw new
Alright.
cards. So each turn, you draw the cards up to your hand limit. But when the
So
round
if I
flips
took
over, you
this
draw
one-
all new ones.
If I took this one and I used all my cards in a move, then I would draw 5 more cards, and
Yes.
for my next turn,
That's correct.
Okay, I'll do that one then. I'll just go left.
All right. So what's the order? I'm first, obviously. Lost Joke, I think, is going to be second. So let's...
I'm last.
And then Rill is last. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go first then. Where's my character? Who moved my character?
Probably Craig.
Yeah, Craig, you moved my character, but where? Where did you move it to?
I threw it, and I think it landed in here.
Okay. All right. The only other thing I think I need to discuss is exploring new territories.
Mm-hmm.
Also, you can't actually go on the lake unless the card says that you can go on the lake. So just consider this a place that you cannot go. So say I'm right here and I want to explore a new territory. I have to use 2 movement to do that. You can move and also explore a new territory and then continue moving if you have that many move points to use, if you have played that many move cards. And then also, we'll just use these as examples. The way this goes is it's going to go like this, and then it's going to continue on this way, basically just
Are all those supposed
this
to
way.
just be blank?
No, I'm just using this as a
Okay.
I don't remember where these are, but it doesn't matter. We're not using these particular cards. We are using this one though. Just using that as an example of where the map is going to go. So you can't explore, for instance, you can't go down here, you can't go over here, you can't go over here. You have to go up, or this way, or this way. And again, the goal for the scenario is to find the area with the city. That is how we end.